So with the idea of perpetual machine, let's move on to heat engine. So heat engine, it converts heat into work. So the official definition is heat engine is a device that operates in a cycle to absorb heat from the hot reservoir, convert part of it into work, and reject the remaining heat into cold reservoir. And since it's a cyclic operation, right, heat engine has to keep doing the same thing again and again. So essentially we have delta U is equal to 0, and delta U has to be 0 to avoid violating the Kelvin-Planck statement. So this entire thing makes up the definition for heat engine. So let me put it this way. Say we have an engine. You have a place wherein the heat is coming out and heat has to go at the other end. This flow has to be there so that the engine can work, and then we get the work. So we have Qn or QH, that's the QC and W, right? Generally, this is not the diagram that people use. They have something like this. Books used something like this. So you have a heat source. I can draw that with red. Heat source, then a sink at the other end. Right? First is we need a connection between these two. So what will happen? The heat will start flowing. Right? And then you introduce a system that converts this process into work. So you have your QH will be this and QC will be this. So this is at some higher temperature and this is at some lower temperature. Does it make sense? So this part, okay, let's label this. This is your heat engine. Okay, and this is your hot reservoir. And this is your cold reservoir. No, not that. Okay, so this is basically your diagram that you generally need to write in your exams. Right, then moving on. What else do we have? Yeah, we have thermal reservoir, that is hot, cold reservoirs at TH and TC. Working substance. So of course you need to have some material that moves from your hot reservoir to cold reservoir. It carries the heat, basically your gas or steam that undergoes a cyclic process. Without any one of the three, right? Any one of this, a cyclic heat engine cannot operate. So that's your essential component of a heat engine, these three parts. So heat flow and first law. So you have the same diagram over here. Key observation is heat flows from higher temperature to lower temperature, while part of it is converted into useful work. Then what do we have? Then we have first law application to heat engine. So this is one expression that we need to know. See, we know that delta U is equal to your Q net minus the work. So for delta U, that is the engine is not using any internal or storing the energy itself. So there is no storage of energy. The entire thing gets converted to, work. But Q net is nothing but QH minus QC. Some heat comes in and some heat goes out. And the difference is converted to work. That's the job of a heat engine. So this is for heat engine. So basically that's what we have written over here. For a cyclic process, you have delta U is equal to 0. Therefore, QH is equal to W plus QC. So basically it comes from this, right? So you can understand that way. So that is your heat engine. In the next video, we're going to look into the efficiency of the heat engine. We have a small expression over there. So that's your next video. So you can start off with the definition and then the diagram and stuff. Then this. And with that understanding, you can go to this. And then this. Okay, that's your next video. Yeah.